In spring of 2015, the Manoa Institutional Research Office administered the National Survey of Student Engagement, or NSSE, at UH Manoa. This presentation will describe how we successfully planned and executed the survey and discuss the characteristics of our survey sample. But first, allow me to provide a brief background on NSSE. NSSE is a highly respected student survey instrument developed at the University of Indiana Bloomington in the year 2000. Since then, about 1,500 institutions have administered the survey. The results of the survey have been found to be very useful in measuring student engagement, so useful that countries around the world are working with NSSE to adapt the survey for their institutions. In 2015, 585 institutions and more than 300,000 North American students took part in the survey, including students from UH Manoa. In addition to a standard set of questions, NSSE offers institutions the opportunity to select among several topical modules, or short sets of questions, on designated topics. Manoa's NSSE Advisory Committee worked with the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs to select the Experiences with Information Literacy module and the Experiences with Diverse Perspectives module. The NSSE survey can only be taken online, with students being invited to take part by email. At Manoa, 5,677 freshmen and senior students received invitations. UH Manoa defined freshman and senior status by the number of credits accumulated. In total, invited students received 5 email messages and reminders, with each one containing a survey link so that responses could be tracked. Manoa last administered the NSSE survey in 2011, and our response rate was only 16%. In order to achieve a better response rate this time around, Myro developed a comprehensive marketing plan and sought collaboration and support across the Manoa campus. The first step was to secure funding in order to be able to offer incentives. Research shows that institutions that offered incentives had, on average, a 6% higher response rate than institutions that did not, making incentives an important part of the strategy. With generous funding support from the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Myro was able to offer an iPad Air 2 and a total of 30 gift cards to interest students in participating in the survey. It was very helpful to have great incentives available, but it was also important to advertise the incentives so that students would be aware of them. Posters, boards, and banners were displayed throughout campus. In fact, 206 posters were placed in the freshman and senior residence halls alone. In order to provide more detailed information about NSSE and to make the information easy to access electronically, Myro prepared a NSSE survey landing web page with a short URL. It featured questions students may have had about the survey, such as, how long will it take, and why should I take part? This short URL was used frequently in press releases and marketing materials. While NSSE contacted students directly by email, we felt that it was important to reinforce this contact by connecting with students on a personal level too. Towards that end, we visited the largest freshman classes, talked to them about the survey, and provided giveaways and flyers with survey instructions. Another way we connected with students in person was by scheduling events on campus on the days students received email messages from NSSE. We had information tables at Campus Center, Manoa Gardens, and Sinclair and Hamilton libraries. We partnered with undergraduate students from the American Marketing Association to reach out to students at these locations and tell them of the survey benefits. Through these methods, we spoke to hundreds of students individually about taking the survey. Our giveaways also contained messages promoting the survey. We hope to activate the social exchange principle by giving students something and asking for their help in return. It was important to connect with university administrators as well as students. Myro made a number of presentations to the Manoa deans during the administration period. The deans responded by providing support for events, such as this information table at Hamilton Library, and by making sure NSSE posters went up in department buildings. At the College of Engineering, pizza parties were hosted to encourage students to take the NSSE survey. Academic deans also encouraged faculty to mention the survey to their students. With the survey administration period extending over 6 weeks, there was a danger that students would begin to screen out our advertising or believe that the survey period was over. To counter that effect, we refreshed our advertising materials with a new color scheme and added an end date to all of our advertisements in order to encourage a sense of urgency about completing the survey. These efforts paid off. Thanks to our comprehensive marketing plan and a good deal of cooperation and collaboration throughout the university, UH Manoa was able to achieve an outstanding response rate of 32%. In fact, we doubled our response rate over the last time we ran the survey in 2011. When one considers the fact that nationally, survey response rates are declining, our rate is even more remarkable. Following the national trend, NSSE response rates have declined significantly since 2011, whereas we managed to overcome the trend and raise ours. We were able to exceed the response rate of all but the smallest of institutions. The smallest colleges can work with students on an individual basis, and so they are able to achieve exceptional response rates. Even so, we did not lag their average by much. Our tier, the largest NSSE institution size, is comprised of universities with more than 10,000 students. The average response rate for our tier was 20%, far lower than our 32%. The red line in this graph is a reminder of UH Manoa's response rate in 2011, which was only 16%. Our response rate was 32% at both the freshman and senior levels. These graphs compare our class-level response rates with those of our peer institutions in our Carnegie class, and the overall average of all NSSE participants in 2014 and 2015 combined. Again, our response rates were significantly higher than their averages. This graph compares the demographic characteristics of our survey respondents with students who were invited to take the survey. The green bars represent the students who completed the survey, and the gold bars represent the students who were invited to take the survey. The graph shows that our survey respondents were reasonably representative of the freshmen who were invited to take part. At the senior level, our respondent characteristics were similarly close to those of the invited group. Because of our exceptional response rate, we are now equipped to use this rich data for decision-making, to improve the student experience, and to improve student success. Further presentations in this series will illustrate the many ways in which we can use our results to bring about positive change in our institution.